There's nothing left of this village, a place that hundreds of people called home, including this 5-year-old girl and her family. A week after the disaster, these victims of one of the worst landslides Papua New Guinea has ever experienced have yet to receive any help from official rescue teams.
The national government rescue team never stepped in. If they had stepped in within 4 to 5 hours, the bodies would have been, we would have saved some of their lives. Just because of the delay, they are dead.
On the 24th of May, this mountain collapsed onto the village, home to hundreds of people. Seven-year-old Dalai was there when it happened. Today, he's applied clay to his face in a traditional show of mourning for the dead.
My house was around here. The door was facing that way. I heard a big sound. My father grabbed my hand and we ran outside. From outside, while we were running, we called out to my mother and she responded. We thought she was coming, but she never came. Every night when I'm sleeping, my mother is calling me. We were digging to find the bodies, but there are big rocks everywhere. It's impossible to find them, so we are trying to plant flowers here instead.
Villagers are desperately digging through the rubble in the hope of locating bodies. But very few have been found. All they could find were shredded items of clothing.
My mother and my brother, they're both dead. I'm alone, helpless. I don't know what will happen to me.
Now an orphan, Dalai has no home and he's in constant danger. While we were filming, an Australian rescue team identified additional cracks in the mountain and warned that more landslides could happen at any time. Dalai is being looked after by his Aunt Kathy, who has 3 children of her own.
Unfortunately, his mother was dead, so I'm going to look after him.
Kathy, a teacher, lives in the neighbouring village. That has also become a dangerous place to live.
Sorry, my house is about to fall down. When this heavy rain comes, anytime these houses, our homes are going to fall down. The grounds are broken into pieces, you see. I don't know where I'm going to live and I don't know where I'm going to take my kids to.
After the disaster, Christian groups were among the first to arrive with aid. Kathy has sought help from the local pastor. Although tribal traditions remain, about 95% of Papua New Guineans are Christians.
If I had a tent for her, I would give it to her, but I don't have any. The first victims occupied the church and then the school over there. The ones who came later, they have their own tents. They are all over the place. The people who are buried in the landslide are all gone, so we're worried about those who survived.
Kathy hasn't been able to find a tent. Like hundreds of survivors, Dalai will have to sleep close to where his mother died. He's scared, but he's already looking to the future.
She's now like my mother. All my life I will stay with her, and she will look after me. Wherever she goes, I will go too. I would like to leave this place. There's nothing here anymore. I want to continue my education elsewhere.
But where to? This beautiful region's not only dealing with disaster, it's also racked by tribal conflict. Warring tribes have been part of life in these remote highlands for centuries. Just 1 hour from the buried village, we come across fires and burned out homes. This tribe has just taken over land that once belonged to its neighbours.
This house where they are buried. It's gone down. There is the garden that we are destroyed up there.
I built this house. So we are the winner. We built his house.
The tribe's power and prestige are linked to ownership of land and animals. The bigger its territory, the more powerful the tribe. But in this remote region, arable land is rare. That makes the stakes even higher. On the 27th of May, 3 days after the landslide, the fighting here left 7 people dead.
We are fighting for ground, or we are fighting for pig, or even the men who dead, we're fighting for that.
Now we want to go and kill. So we can sort it now. Otherwise they come and shoot us too.
We will kill. Our fight is still on, so we want to attack the Birua too, so you can stop and you can go.
We have to leave. As we drive away, we pass evidence of recent battles. We see men carrying bush knives, a custom that isn't usually seen as a threat. But when fighting breaks out, these knives can cause a lot of damage, especially when they're used along with guns. Tribal rivalry can quickly descend into violence. On the 18th of February this year, around 100 people were killed in a single day in the region hit by the landslide. Their bodies were left on the road. We managed to locate the men responsible for the carnage. They agreed to show us weapons from their secret arms stash.
This is the latest M16 model. It's very powerful. It cost almost 10,000 euros on the black market. It wasn't easy to buy. We had to save money for years. That day on the battlefield, our enemies attacked us first. But I managed to kill 60 people with this gun. My men killed 40 others. But 60 is a small number. If they come back, I'll kill 60 more.
They are my enemies, so if I see them, I will cut them down.
The buried village was once caught up in tribal conflict, but it's been weakened by the disaster and there are no longer enough men to defend it, making it vulnerable to neighbouring tribes. These people from another valley know the toll fighting can take on their community.
They shot me here, and the bullet came out from there.
We were in a gunfight and ran out of bullets. So they caught me and cut my nose with a bush knife. I tried to escape, but I tripped on a rock and lost my teeth.
Here, hatred between rival tribes stretches back generations. Revenge is about protecting their honour above all else. Children are taught to hate their enemies from a very young age. They include this child whose elder brother was killed by fighting.
For as long as I'm alive, I will encourage my child to take revenge. I will tell him to kill more of our enemies. This tribal fight will never end. Even our sons, the next generation, will remember and fight to take revenge.
In a region ravaged by war, some hope the landslide will bring about a truce between warring tribes. More than a week after the disaster, the Prime Minister, James Marape, has finally come to meet survivors as they mourn their dead. While many believe he should have come sooner, his visit's supposed to reassure local people that the government has not abandoned this troubled region. We spot Dalai in the crowd.
Proper relief now, restoration tomorrow, and reconstruction into the future. Am I right?
The strength we also have in our character is that when this sort of community loss take place, they all come together again. So I am pretty certain my people, now that the authorities here, more important, the provincial government is stable here, people, I don't think this event will trigger mass civil unrest. Rather, the people will come together and the government will find permanent settlement for them.
The survivors have no choice but to leave their shattered village. For now, the mountain that caused the tragedy will serve as a memorial to the men, women and children beneath the rubble.